Welcome back to the Girl Cave. I'm finally getting to do my June month in review page. Now I've had these pictures printed since July 7th, but I haven't been feeling well and I had a lot of doctor's appointments and some tests, and I pushed it to the side, but I'm feeling a lot better. And today is July 28th. So I better get this page done so that I can print July and get that done as well. I don't want to fall behind. And I want to share something with you. When I sent these pictures to print and I saw my total, I was a little confused as to why it was so much, but I didn't really look into it. Well, now when I went to look at the pictures, because I hadn't even done that, when I pull out my pictures, I realized that I have a 6x6 print, which was $3 just for that one print. Now I don't even know how that got there, because I don't print 6x6, especially for $3 a print. But again, I wasn't feeling well, so that might have been part of the issue. And when I saw the print, I had to laugh. It won't go to waste because look at this. This is so true. If 2020 was a drink, what would it be? A colonoscopy prep. Is that not the most? So this picture will not go to waste. $2.99, but I'll put it somewhere in my room to remind me to just keep laughing. We have to keep laughing. The best thing about month in review is that my layout truly is already done. My pages is done. All I have to do is cut apart my pictures, mat them, and arrange them somehow on this double page layout, and then do my journaling, which should be easy enough. And that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to mat these, choose my favorite ones, put them on here, and then maybe I might add some enamel dots if I can find any in this color. If not, that's good enough. I have a little bit of dimension right here, and I have a little bit of dimension right here, but I feel like I could use a little bit more dimension. Some enamel dots would be perfect for that. I love this little mason jar. This came from a sticker sheet from the Dollar Tree that I had purchased maybe 2 years ago. It had different size jelly jars, and they're translucent and they are dimensional. Like you can actually feel the little heart. I mean, it's just lovely. Let me get my paper trimmer, trim down my pictures, mat them, and get to work. I will be honest with you, I have not looked at these pictures since I created the June album on my iPad, where I place all of my pictures that I took during the month of June. And then I print them all in 4 pictures per 4x6. And then I just trim them all. I print some of them in 4x6 because I pick one to be the main picture of the layout, and that one stays in a 4x6. But right now I'm just going to quickly trim them all, and then I'll look through them and see which ones I want to include in the layout, because some of them are repeats, some of them are not that fantastic, they don't really tell a story, and I don't want my page to look too cluttered either. I need to have space to journal and document the month of June. I am shocked at the fact that it is almost the end of July. I have lost track of time because I've been stuck in the house since March 13th, and I just, at this point, I didn't even realize it was the end of July. And I might have to go back to work. For students, the start date is set to be August 31st. But as far as teachers, we don't know if we are going back on the 11th or the 20-something. We don't even know. There's a lot that we still don't know. And that makes for a lot of anxiety, especially like for me. I just feel anxious, and I know I shouldn't. I know that I should place my trust where it needs to be, which is God. But you know, having health issues and not knowing how my classroom is going to look, how the instructional model is going to play out, it is a little stressful for me. I'm going to admit to that. Because of that, and because of I've been having some irregular heartbeats, and I've just not been feeling well, so I haven't scrapped. I'm gonna say I didn't scrap at all in July. I don't think that's a lie. And when I realized that the month of July is pretty much done, I was like, girl, you gotta get this done. You can't just sit around moping. You gotta live for today. Get this done. So here I am, getting things done. Look at that handsome little boy. That was on his birthday. Is he not the cutest little monkey? Oh, he's so cute. Yesterday, it was our 29th wedding anniversary. And we made the best of it. We have 2 of our 3 sons home because of COVID. And I will tell you, that is the only good thing that has come from this, that I have them home. I wish I had all 3 of them home, but one is in the military, so, you know, technically he doesn't belong to me anymore. He belongs to the military. But since everybody's working from home, they decided, let's come home. And I am so happy about that. I'm so happy and so thrilled to have them here. I feel like the dog is just thinking, I don't want COVID to end. He loves having everybody here, and so do I. So that is the only good thing that has come out of this. And I'm quite pleased. All right, so let me move this to the side, and I'm going to start arranging pictures to see how many I can fit, and then choose my favorite from that. And hopefully, I'm making a mess. I know I am. And hopefully I'm in frame and you can see both layouts as best as possible. These are the ones that I printed in 4x6. Look at that face. I like this picture, even though it's like, it's weird angle. I love this picture too, but this one truly belongs in, I think this one belongs in July. No, this one belongs in June. I'm not really sure. Maybe. But look at that one. I think this one's gonna be my favorite, because I can't pick between my boys. You know, you can't choose your favorite son. These are my 3 sons. My 3 handsome boys. So since I can't choose my favorite son, I'm going with the cat. I'm going with my grand cat. And I love the colors too. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Avoid confrontation at all costs. And I have the other pictures in the small size, so that's what I will do. And I'll place the larger picture here. He is so handsome. He turned 4 years old. And then the rest I'll start arranging, and whatever doesn't fit, then I will start removing from those pictures and only place like the most important ones. And I have to remember to leave myself space for journaling. And I've been doing my journaling on this side, but I think this time I want to do my journaling here, because I don't want, you know how you place the same thing over and over in the same spot and it gets to be boring? I don't want to do that. So I want to place my journaling here this time. I think that's what I want to do. These are the most expensive tomatoes I've ever had. I bought a little plant when I went in May. If you remember that layout that I did, Get Your Sunshine On, we went to a local farm and I bought a tomato plant, and I got, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 cherry tomatoes. But then when the second batch was ready, my son let me know the night before. He goes, oh my gosh, the tomatoes are ready to be picked. And when I went the next morning to pick them, they were all gone. A deer came and ate my whole tomato plant, the whole thing. So yeah, that was a very expensive tomatoes. Now I will mat these pictures. These are all extras. I don't need any of these extras. I'm gonna keep this one to put in my son's military album. And then I'll do my journaling right here. And I have a lot of journaling to do today, so I'm going to sit at my computer and get the layouts that need the journaling and then print out like the text boxes. And I already have the cardstock in my printer, and that way I will print the journaling for, I think I have like 3 layouts to do, including this one. And that way I don't waste a lot of printer paper, or not printer paper, like cardstock, but I'll print the entire 3 journaling blocks in one sheet of 8.5 by 11. And that way is the best use of paper for me, in my opinion. And then I might be able, I can't put the little enamel dots on this side, but I could probably maybe put them here, put some here, and maybe add some here, because it needs a little bit more of that blue, I think. Then the journaling block takes the entire area, because I journal about everything that happened during the month. So my journaling blocks usually are about the size of a 4x6, sometimes a little longer. But that's the whole point, right? Is to journal and document our stories, document our lives. I'll trim them a little bit more. Maybe I didn't measure correctly when I was making these. I like to sit down and cut my scraps of paper into little mats and have them ready for specifically 3x4s. I'm gonna place it there. I still have to trim it, but I don't want to lose the layout that I had. I could just take a picture of it and make it easier for me. I like taking pictures of my layouts once I have them kind of like where I want them, and then that way I can remove things and work on them faster and know exactly where I wanted to have them placed. Look at that little clown. He likes to pretend he's hanging off cliffs. That was at the Grand Canyon. I have a very similar picture of him like that, hanging from a cliff in Ireland. He likes to give his mama some palpitations. He sure does. My very expensive cherry tomatoes, which by the way, they were delicious. They were so delicious. So much better than the ones you get at the supermarket. Even if you buy organic ones. I mean, they were juicy and flavorful. I hope I get another set. When I see that they're becoming ripe, I'll probably bring the plant in at night. I have it in a little pot. I mean, I love the deer, but dang it, I love my cherry tomatoes too. Next year I'll buy 2 plants, one for them and one for me. Maybe. And once you have the month in review layout, which by the way, I will link the video to that as well, so that you can see all of my months. They are so beautiful. I'm so grateful that Janet Madison shared that idea, because last year I had done a year in review. I had a double page layout and I picked my favorite picture from every month of the year, and it turned out beautiful. I will link that one below as well. But then she showed how she does a month in review, and that's even better because you can really get pretty much all of your pictures for the month done. And if you have a special event during that month, then you could create a layout, a separate layout for that event, and you can stay on top of things. Really, you could. And we have lots of little things that happen during the month, and sometimes we don't We don't document them, but they are life. They're wonderful little memories, but maybe not enough to have a whole layout about it. So this concept is just absolutely perfect. And what she does is she creates the same layout, and she might just change obviously the papers are different every month, but I mean, you could certainly use the same paper if you wanted to, but I like the idea of different papers. And then the clusters are basically the same, but just a little variation. And that way they're all done. And all you have to do at the end of the month is print out your pictures and slap and stick. That's all it is. All of these need to be trimmed on 2 sides. I think I'm gonna be needing a blade soon, a new blade. So how are things in your neck of the woods? When does school start where you are? Let me know below what state you're in and what are the plans for school where you live. I know here in Florida, it varies. Like South Florida, like Orlando and Miami, they have different start dates. Was it Orange County or Osceola? I think it was Orange County. I just read, my mom sent me an email. They are starting August 11th, I think it was. But they're starting virtually, but only for 10 days. Then after 10 days, they all start in the classroom again, which makes, like when you read it, you're like, well, why? But they're doing it because that first 10 days, it's a trial run on the online system. So then they go back into the classroom, and if they have to close schools physically and do online teaching again, students are already comfortable with the platform and teachers are already comfortable with the platform, and they're ready to go. Because last year when we closed, we went out for spring break and we never returned. When we started up after spring break, it was online, and it was new for teachers. It was new for students. Half the time we didn't know what we were doing, how things were working. Sometimes things weren't working. It was chaotic, to say the least. But we managed. We learned quickly, and you know, we kept in touch with students by email, Schoology. If we felt the need to make sure that students were understanding what we were saying, like we actually would make phone calls and talk to them or talk to their parents. We had video conferences with them. Like we truly did our best to stay in touch with the students and make sure that they were feeling comfortable. But this plan that Orange County has, I think it's genius. Like, start out the first 10 days virtually on the virtual platform, then go back in the classroom. And at that time, you can address, hey, Johnny, like, did you have any difficulty? Because I didn't see that you were turning in your work on time. What was difficult for you? And then you could like make any corrections right then and there. Sit with the student, open up the platform while at school, help them figure it out, try it out again in the classroom. Like, this is how you're going to submit your assignments. This is where you're going to find my messages to you or my assignments. Make sure they have it down pat. And then if we have to shut down physically again, it's nothing new. They feel comfortable and they can be successful with the platform. I don't know what Miami is doing, Miami-Dade. I haven't kept up with their plans, but I know in California they are all going to virtual school for, I believe, the entire school year. They're all going to be remotely, they call it distance learning. Because, you know, at the beginning, they were a hot spot. And now, Florida seems to be a hot spot. Ay, ay, ay. And I felt bad for the kids that didn't get to finish out their senior year, you know. And for the kids that graduated college, that was so sad. You know, they worked so hard for 4-6 years, and they didn't even get that closure or that moment of celebration. Very sad. People have to cancel weddings. So when I think of that, I remind myself that I have nothing to complain about. I have my 2 of my boys here. I know that my other boy, he is safe where he is. He's being very well taken care of. I miss my parents, but we talk very often. We keep in touch. And we have our health, we have our jobs. So I have really nothing to complain about, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. Now I can look at my picture that I took on my iPad and place my photos where they go. Then once I have all of my pictures in the same album for like the month of July, then I sit down with the Project Life app and I print all of the pictures in a 3x4, and then I look at them again and I pick my favorite pictures, usually 3 or 4, and I print those in a 4x6 so that I can have the main photo. And then once I'm done with this layout today, I'm just going to sit down at the computer and do the journaling for, I have 3 layouts that I can remember. Yep, I think I have 3 layouts that are just waiting for the journaling. And because I have a lot to say, I like to print the journaling for this one. The other ones, if it's a little bit of journaling, I will write it. I don't mind having my handwritten journaling. I think that's good to see. But if I have a lot, then it's easier for me to just print them, and I can get a lot done quickly. I print it on cardstock, that Nina cardstock, and then I just put it on my pages and put them away. And now let's work on this. And lift this area up a little bit. I use this sparingly because I've not seen it anywhere. I see Goo Gone, but I don't know that Goo Gone and Undo are the same. And I don't want to find out the hard way that they're not. So I just want to lift it up just a little bit right there so that I can put this picture down just a little bit. And I feel like I'm running out of tape as well. I make sure I put this picture down the right way. I don't want to place it upside down with the sun at the bottom. I've been known to do that. I feel like I can move this one up a little bit. So my oldest son and his girlfriend drove all the way from California to Florida. And they did like a little road trip, enjoyed their time. They went to the Grand Canyon. They had lots of little stops, and one of the stops was to visit my youngest son, who is in the Air Force. They stopped by to say hi, since he can't really go anywhere more than 150 miles from base. Okay, so I'm gonna have to lift up this mason jar because it doesn't fit. That'll be perfect because it is translucent, so it's not going to be too obtrusive. And there's a little bit of dead space on that picture anyway, so it will work out. Make sure I place it right side up. Don't want that dog upside down. Okay, that's beautiful. See? Perfect. And I can even do some enamel dots right there. And then let me do this one and this one. It feels like a puzzle. One of the puzzles that I loved as a child was a little plastic square with 9 numbers, kind of like Sudoku, but they were in little tiles and then you had to move them around. I think they still sell them like in party favors. I loved it. I loved it as a child. Loved playing with that. I'd be entertained for a bit. I'm not gonna say hours because I was a little bit of hyper child. I don't think, unless I was reading, I was not entertained for hours. Voila, got all the pictures down. Let me see if I have any enamel dots in that color. But I also have these. I think I'd rather see if I have, go through these first since they are already open and see. So I want something that color. I've seen how some ladies organize their enamel dots, and I'm thinking maybe I should do that with mine rather than keeping them in a Ziploc bag. The reason why I keep them in a Ziploc bag, see right here, this is the reason why I keep them in a Ziploc bag, because some of them fall off that transfer sheet and I do not want to lose them because they are not really cheap, and I'm not ready to switch to Nuvo drops. Oh look, another one. Even though it would be cheaper to use Nuvo drops, but it would take up so much more space to store the Nuvo drops in all the different colors, and I don't have unlimited space in this room. I really don't. Little one, wherever it falls, that's where it fell, that's where it's going. Put some here. I'm gonna put a big one here wherever it falls and a little one here. Right there, and a medium one. Okay, and then here, there we go. I'm not spending too much time on that. Okay, so that's done. All I have to do now is sit at my computer and do the text box and print out my journaling right here. So I will measure this. Actually, very almost like I would do like a 3.5 by 6.5, and that should be enough for me to do all my journaling. Thank you for sitting with me today and for listening to me ramble. I really needed to get back to scrapping. I hope to see you again next week right here at the Girl Cave. Bye.